India, the world's largest democracy, shines brightly on the global stage. Its economic growth is the envy of many. Its cultural influence is undeniable. Yet, beneath this veneer of progress, a darker reality simmers. India grapples with hidden truths, uncomfortable realities often brushed aside in the pursuit of a glorious narrative. These truths, often silenced or ignored, paint a different picture, a picture of injustice, secrecy, and forgotten lives. India's journey since independence has been marked by both triumph and tragedy. We celebrate our achievements, but we must also confront our failings. To ignore the plight of the marginalized, the silenced, and the oppressed is to deny the very soul of our nation. We must acknowledge the shadows to truly appreciate the light. The stories of these hidden truths are often complex and uncomfortable. They challenge our perceptions and force us to question the narratives we have been fed. But these are stories that need to be told. For it is in acknowledging these uncomfortable truths that we, as a nation, can truly begin to heal and progress. The path to a just and equitable society requires us to shine a light on the darkest corners, to give voice to the voiceless. Secrecy thrives in the corridors of power. Information is controlled, manipulated, and suppressed. Whistleblowers face intimidation and threats. The recent revelations surrounding UFOs and UAPs, as revealed in the US congressional hearing, serve as a stark reminder. Claims of retrieved crash debris and non-human biological material, if true, point to a level of secrecy that is deeply unsettling. The Immaculate Constellation report by Representative Nancy Mace raises critical questions about government transparency, not just in the US, but globally. India, too, has its share of classified information often related to national security and defense. While some level of secrecy is understandable, it must never come at the cost of accountability and the public's right to know. The opacity surrounding certain government operations breeds distrust and suspicion. It allows for the abuse of power and the violation of human rights. The case of Diego Garcia, a strategically important island in the Indian Ocean, is a case in point. The forced displacement of the Chagosian people to make way for a US military base remains a shameful chapter in history. The recent agreement between the UK and Mauritius, while acknowledging the end of British rule, allows the US base to remain for potentially 99 more years. This perpetuates the injustice faced by the Chagosians and raises serious questions about the true cost of strategic alliances. The lack of accountability and the continued secrecy surrounding Diego Garcia are a stain on the conscience of all nations involved. The most vulnerable sections of society often bear the brunt of injustice and neglect. Their stories remain untold, their voices unheard. The plight of India's tribal communities is a stark example. Displaced from their ancestral lands, often denied basic rights and opportunities, they live on the margins of society. The echoes of historical injustices reverberate through generations. The caste system, though officially abolished, continues to cast a long shadow. Dalits, formerly known as untouchables, still face discrimination and violence. Their struggle for equality and dignity is a long and arduous one. The plight of women in India is another pressing concern. Despite progress in certain areas, deeply ingrained patriarchal norms continue to restrict their lives. Domestic violence, sexual assault, and honor killings remain grim realities. The recent gang rape and murder of a young woman in Delhi shook the nation's conscience, but the question remains: how much has truly changed? The marginalized and the oppressed deserve our attention and our action. We must amplify their voices, fight for their rights, and create a society where everyone has the opportunity to live with dignity and respect. Ignoring their plight is not only morally wrong, but it also undermines the very fabric of our democracy. The path ahead is clear. India must confront its hidden truths, acknowledge its failings, and commit to a more just and equitable future. This requires a fundamental shift in our approach, one that prioritizes transparency, accountability, and the rule of law. We need a media that is free and fearless, willing to hold power to account. We need a judiciary that is independent and impartial, delivering justice without fear or favor. Most importantly, we need citizens who are engaged and informed, willing to raise their voices against injustice and demand better from their leaders. The journey towards a brighter future will not be easy. There will be resistance from those who benefit from the status quo, but we must persevere. We owe it to ourselves, to future generations, and to the very idea of India as a beacon of hope and progress. Let us not shy away from the uncomfortable truths. Let us embrace the principles of justice, equality, and compassion. Only then can we truly unveil the full potential of our nation and create a